Hey guys, so in my last video you may have seen this stuff peeking out of the corner, but this is my Mwave haul. Over the course of about 2 or 3 months I ordered a few things, and the last thing I was waiting for came in last week. So now I can do this haul because I really was waiting for the Gfriend album to come through, but I know why it took so long, so I'm not really mad about that. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this stuff. So I put all the photo cards on top. That way if there's anybody who was watching this video to see what photo cards I got, there you go. You can click over to another video if you want to. But yeah, I'm really happy with the items I have here. Even though there's one item that I have a little bit of frustration with, but I'll talk about that when I get there. But yeah, for the most part, I'm really happy with the things I got. A lot of things were unexpectedly more pleasant than I thought they would be, and then some of these things were just a little bit more interesting than I thought they would be. So I'm going to start with the thing that probably is the thing I listen to the least, but I have a really good reason for that, and it's this right here. It's BAP's Matrix. So this is the first BAP album I've ever owned. I have never owned anything by BAP before. I did have Block B's Her, but I sold that recently, so I don't own anything by Block B either. But yeah, I have never owned anything by BAP before. It's not that I don't like them, it's just that I have never really found a full album that I liked. But because I really sympathize with them and their struggle against their record label, I wanted to be supportive. I felt like, you know, anytime an artist takes the brave step of going against what the label wants and kind of making a statement and then standing as a complete unit in that statement, that's something special. So I felt like, you know, if you guys are willing to do that to protect your art, I'm willing to support your art. And that's what I did with this album. And I actually really dig it. I thought it was a great mini album. The only song I really didn't like all that much was Young, Wild, and Free. I think because tonality is important in an album, and it just had a totally different tone than the rest of the songs on the album. I don't know why. It's just what it is. But there's a reason why I cannot listen to this CD anymore, and the reason is because I got into a car accident while this CD was playing, and now whenever I listen to this CD, it kind of creeps me out a little bit, so I've had to put it away. So yeah, I don't listen to this anymore. But I loved it up until that very moment, and even afterwards I tried to give it a try, but I can't listen to it anymore. But this is the photo card I got right here, as you can see. Mr. Jungkook, and then there's the back. There's no signature on the back of these cards. And then this is the album that I got. I have no idea whose signature is what. As you can tell, they were in quite the hurry, so yeah, that doesn't help out with anything. You know, I wish that they had done a different color marker with this, and this is a complaint I have with a lot of signed albums. I appreciate the fact that they are using permanent marker to sign these things, but if you have an album with a really dark cover like this, go ahead and go with like a white marker or a silver marker, but something that's going to stand out in the dark, because unless you can really tilt it in the light, some of it is really hard to read. So yeah, I would have appreciated it in a different color, and I have another one that's signed here that I'll have the same complaint about as well. But overall, I think it's cute packaging for what it is. It's the cheaper of the two options. This is the regular, and then there was the limited edition, but I think you get a good amount for what you pay for. Mine, for some reason, it kind of broke right here around the spine, which I don't know why, because I haven't flipped through this very often. But yeah, I'm glad I made this purchase. Next is the album that I was telling you about that I kind of had a hard time with the ink, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about that now. And it is Twice's The Story Begins, which, in case you're wondering, I am also buying their page 2. I have it on order, it just hasn't gotten here yet. I was waiting until the MV came out to decide whether or not I wanted to buy it. I like Cheer Up Okay. I like Cheer Up Okay, so I think I'll go ahead and go with it. And I ordered it from Catch Up CD, so I did order it after it came out rather than pre-ordering it, because Twice is not a bias group for me, but I want to support the girls. And you know, just recently, I've really kind of reestablished my love for JYP, the man, not necessarily the company, because I was kind of frustrated with JYP. Last year, the way the whole 2 p.m. promotion schedule was, that rollout, I didn't like. I thought it was handled really poorly. I wasn't too fond of the fact that 15N has yet to have a comeback as a group, and packaging wise, I'm always giving it to JYP when it comes to the way they do their packaging, but I have to admit, JYP did a really nice job with a couple of other things in 2015, and I have to give him credit for those. The Wonder Girls reboot, one of the best albums of 2015. Twice, I really, really like this album. I think he did a great job. I was a little bit skeptical because they came from a television show, but I mean, they sound good. This album is full of really great songs. In fact, the only song I don't really like on this album is the song that JYP himself wrote. So yeah, I really, really like it a lot, and I see it for these girls. And I love the fact that he's taking a newer approach with them than maybe he's done with his other idols in the past. Instead of trying to make them a Wonder Girls clone or trying to make them a Miss A clone, he kind of gave them a little room in the middle, because I know a lot of you who are younger K-pop fans probably don't remember the early videos from the Wonder Girls. But when the Wonder Girls first debuted, they used to have really fun kind of storyline based videos. And I feel like that's what he's doing with Twice. But rather than going as far storyline-wise as he did with Wonder Girls, I think he's a little bit more playful, and he incorporates a lot more choreography into the storylines, and it just makes for a really refreshing idea base to come from JYP that you're not necessarily used to from him recently. So I really like that a lot. And then also, just kind of off topic, but JYP is still alive. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it, and watch JYP shit on your faves, because I mean, the man's telling the absolute truth, but it's just so rude of him to say it like that. But yeah, love the guy. I still love his label, and if nothing else, I have a high degree of respect for the amount of time he's spent in the game. And when you look at like the scandals that other record labels have had, yes, JYP has had people leave his label to go on to big success. J Park, you know I'm talking about you. And he had the recent guy that left from Day 6. But for the most part, I mean, it seems like a lot of the people that have been with JYP from the past still kind of embrace him as a mentor and a friend. And you just don't see that with a lot of other labels. So for that reason alone, I have a lot of respect for him. But let me get to the cards and then to the signatures. So this is the kid card that I got. So you can see that right there. And then the back. And this is Sana. You can see our names right there. Then this is the unit card that I got. Here is the front. Then here is the back. And then this is the individual card that I got. And then here is the back. And then this is what I mean about needing a different color marker when it comes to signing these albums. Okay, there are moments on here where you literally cannot see the signature. Like this signature right here, you can barely read that. And a lot of the other signatures, it disappears a little bit in the darker colors. I would have preferred, instead of putting the signature on the very front of the album, if they didn't want to not do black marker, go ahead and just open the album up and sign on this page. That's so freaking easy. Or even sign around the disc, which is something that everybody could do. That is something I really think can be done more often. Sign around the disc. That's fun. It's kind of a blank space anyway. Go ahead and do that. But this signing in this really crowded way where there's really no room and you don't want to cover anybody's face, it's just, there's no reason to be like that, you know. And this is a really glossy cover, so I'm actually kind of worried about these autographs because I would hate for them to rub up against anything and come off. So yeah, I would have appreciated if they had gone ahead and gone with doing it on the actual paper itself. I would have enjoyed that more. And actually, it has kind of worn off a little. I don't know if you can see that, but that signature right there has started to wear off. So yeah, it's pretty vulnerable. I would like them to do something different when they're doing signatures, at least on this kind of glossy finish with these kind of darker areas. Go ahead and just go inside where the paper's nice and matte, more absorbent, and sign inside of there. It's an easy solution. It doesn't take very long to do. Try that out, guys. Okay, next I'm going to talk about one that came to me that is totally different than what I usually do. I got this, which is the group called The Legend, and in case you're wondering, this is the photo card I got. Now, I don't know the names of any of the guys in this group, so when I saw this card and I saw this name here in the corner, I'm like, oh, so the name of the mini album is Listen and Sound Up? That's weird. It's got two names. No, girl. The name of this person is Listen. I think that's a crazy name for a performer, but at the same time, I guess, you know, if you're producing music, that's not a bad sentiment to have. But yeah, I flipped this thing over at least 3 or 4 times trying to figure out who I was looking at. And I'm like, girl, his name, Listen. But anyway, What you're seeing here is the outside case of the CD itself. It actually came packed with stuff, which is good and bad. I mean, it's good because you get a lot of stuff with it. Bad because I can't close it. See how it's bulging right there? It's because I can't close it when I put everything inside of here. So I'm not even sure how I'm going to store this when this video is over. But here is the track list back here. You can see that. So it's the first song, I Want You Back. Na, na, na. Now I can tell you exactly why I got this. I got this for the song Nail. I just really, really love that song. And this is like a super new goo group as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't even know anything about the label they're from. But the guys are good looking. I watched a couple of their other videos. I liked those too. I liked their general sound. And this was cheap. I think this might have been $13, $14, so it wasn't much at all. One of the great things about Mwave is that if you order enough stuff, they will ship it to you for free. So I think I ordered this with Twice maybe, or I may have ordered this with Stellar. I can't remember. But I ordered these before they changed the shipping requirements from $29 to $49. And so altogether, it didn't cost that much. There was no tax on it. It was a really reasonable price, cheaper than I could get it from any K-pop shop. And then the contents that were inside of that slipcase, it came with the regular photo book thing. So like this right here, which looks exactly like the slipcase. I'll show you. See? Exactly like the slipcase. And then the other side, exactly like the slipcase. And it came with a bonus book. This one right here, and this is for the video that they filmed. So this is actually a bunch of shots from the video. Nice, right? And it gives you information on all the guys. You can see there, it tells you their nationality, their birth date, their blood type, their height, their weight. So that's pretty cool. Whoa, wait a second. This guy and this guy, they're pretty tall. Hey. But yeah, it's not much. It's not much at all. Like, it really isn't. And it's a cute little addition to have, but I think that this thing was added at the last minute, and because it was, it's the reason why you can't hardly close the slipcase. Because I've actually put the album in here without the additional booklet, and it fits perfect. But when you add the additional booklet in, it doesn't hardly fit at all. So that's what's causing this to bulge out. So probably what I'll do is I'll just remove the CD and I won't open it anymore. But here's the front. No, I think this might be the back. No, that's the front. That's the front right there. And then when you open it up, here is the CD here. There's really nothing too interesting behind this CD, but I'll go ahead and I'll show it to you anyway. See, nothing interesting behind there. And then the photo book in here, it's really nice. It's kind of like an Instagram book to me, like it's using all the fun filters. It's a little bit harsh, honestly, but other than that, I like them. I think they look okay. It just makes their hair like really anime style, because like you can see all the little individual strands of mousse and stuff. There's that. And I'm not gonna go page for page because that's not what this haul is. But I haven't seen a lot of unboxings of this, which is why I'm just showing you guys a little bit of it. But yeah, really good photography. And like I said, I don't normally go for groups that are this kind of new to me. But I just really love the song. And it was one of those things where I felt like I needed to get this or else I wouldn't be able to get it at all one day. So yeah, I got it now. And hopefully it helped them out. Maybe they'll have another good comeback and they'll get a little bit more popular because they're nice looking guys. And they're a mixed ethnicity group. You've got Chinese guys and Korean guys. And I think that's progressive considering all of the kind of controversy there's been regarding Chinese members of K-pop groups. I support anytime people are trying to further along that integration. So yeah, I really hope that things work out for the legend. Next, I'm going to show you this right here. This is Gfriend's Snowflake album, which I have been waiting to get since I ordered it. Like, you guys, I think this album came out in either December or January, like wintertime. And I did the order when they first announced they were going to do an Mwave signing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a copy. They were supposed to sign this in February. Nothing happened. Then I think they were supposed to sign it in March. It didn't happen. I don't think they signed it until maybe the beginning of April. Something like that. It took forever for this thing to come through. And because Gfriend is like humongously popular now, it took forever for the orders placed before the Mwave event for them to actually close it up. So there were so many people that ordered this thing. Like, so many people ordered this. And they had so many orders. And it made it to where nobody got their stuff on time. There's a lot of people I know here on YouTube that just got their stuff last week. I just got my stuff last week. It took forever. And it's actually kind of funny to me because I have the 2 other Gfriend albums. And the very first one I got for Gfriend is signed to. So let me grab that real quick. So this is my very first Gfriend album. I got this from Mwave as well. And my gosh, when you look at their signatures from then compared to now, it's obvious that these girls are busy as hell. I mean, look at these 2 signatures. They don't look anything the same. Oh my gosh, there's so much that has changed about these signatures. There's so much detail that's like not there anymore, but that's okay. I'd rather have a sloppy signature from a busy group than have a pristine signature from a group that's kind of losing it. So I'm not mad at all. I'm glad to see them succeed, and that's kind of the direction I hope that will happen with a group like The Legend, that, you know, they'll start out maybe small, but something will go viral for them, something will pick up a little steam, and they'll continue to go forward. I see that that's what's happening with that one group, K&K. I don't know how to pronounce them, guys. I'm not even going to try. But, like, they started out with kind of being noticed for standing behind some other idols and being tall. But then the actual song, Knock It, gained a little bit of steam. And now I see a few unboxings of their stuff. And that's the way you want things to progress. You really want people to have kind of a devoted fan base, go a little bit further, get a little bit more notoriety. Because, you know, as much as I love the big 3, K-pop would be so dull if all we had were the big 3. We need new companies to get out there and give us acts, give us songs, give us groups. And I'm just so glad to see these smaller companies bring themselves up and give us people that we're not used to seeing. Gfriend is from a small company that I've never heard of before, but look at how big they're getting, you know, and companies start from somewhere, you know, despite as huge as a company like JYP or YG is now. It was a risky venture for them to start their own labels in the beginning, but now look at them. You know, Cube, they're not doing so great recently, but there was a time when Cube was doing really, really good. Well, they started out small and they grew up. So I'm just saying, you need these smaller companies to grow up, to kind of take the place of some of these other, I would say, mid-range companies if they start to fall off, and just provide us with new looks, new sounds, new artists, just something new to keep the culture growing. So yeah, I'm really happy about Gfriend and the success that they've found. And then this is the card that I got here. There's the front. Oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. Like, she's not my bias in the group, but she has got to be one of the most beautiful girls out there. Look at her. She's just gorgeous. This is Suwon, yeah. Love her. She's the best. And then these are the signatures, of course, and the packaging on this kind of reminds me of the Love Me Right Japanese single from EXO, the group version, because you've got like the kind of folder sleeve, and then the CD's over here, and then you got that. I mean, it's not exactly the same. There's a couple of other folder CDs that I have, like Yoseb's first CD. It's done like this too. So here is the booklet, and the booklet is photographed so well. I'm going to show you guys my favorite picture in here, if I can find it. I'm so bad at finding things. There it is. This picture right here. I don't know what it is about this picture. Maybe it's the soft focus or the really pretty headband, but this is my favorite picture in the entire photo book. But this photo book is filled with like just precious pictures, really intimate moments that aren't big, but this just show closeness or imply a closeness. And I don't know. As much as this is all choreographed by some company and stylist, and they try to make these girls look innocent and sweet and unassuming, there's still something very genuine and heartfelt about this group. And especially when you compare like their sound with the acrobatic nature of the kind of dancing that they do, I just really like these girls. Like, I just feel like I'm close to them, even though I don't know them well. I just feel really close to them. I feel like I want to know them more. I feel like we're going to grow together to get to know each other. And, well, they're never going to get to know me, but I'm going to grow to get to know them. And I just can't wait to see what's going to happen with them. You know, every success that they've had, and they've gotten more and more successful, I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them in everything they do. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what the next concept is going to be, because they've done 3 of these schoolgirl concepts, and it seems like everyone in K-pop is doing these trilogies. So yeah, I wait to see what the next look is going to be for them, or if they're going to keep with schoolgirl. But I want to see them grow. I want to see my babies grow. These are my new daughters. I want to see them grow. And then the last one I want to talk about, man, I have been thinking about how to talk about this for the entire week. Because I have Marionette. I received it from Random Me 2011 for our Secret Santa exchange. Thank you, girl. She's so awesome. Her channel's the best. But when I did that video, I had quite the defense for Stellar, because I'm like, you know, this is not all that sexy. This is normal. Why are people picking on these girls? You're allowed to express your sexuality. Fuck what the haters say. But then I got this album. First, I got it from K-Pop Terry. I'll put a link to her channel down below. This is the second time I've mentioned her, but yeah. I got this album from K-Pop Terry. When I got it from her, I was first like really shocked by how big the photo book was. I'd seen some unboxings, but I was really surprised how big this photo book was. But then as I looked through the photo book, I was so disappointed. Now, guys, I don't have anything wrong with women expressing their sexuality, women trying to maybe grow up and be a little bit more mature in their look. I don't even see sexuality as a marketing device to be terrible when it's done smart. But when it's just done at its most base level to satisfy like pervy old uncles, that's when I get icky. And I don't feel like the way that this photo book was done, the way that the Sting video was done, I don't think any of that was done with a woman's perspective on sexuality. I think it was all done to be fan service and eye candy for these uncle fans. And I'm just so sad about it. I went through this photo book, and there's a specific pose. It's kind of a bent over with your kind of butt stuck up in the air, or bent over to where your butt is kind of in the shot. And I counted through this photo book, and I found over 40 instances of these butt in the air poses. And you can't tell me that between these 4 girls, they all decided that this was the pose they wanted to stick with, that was them expressing their sexuality. No, it was a coordinator or a cameraman or somebody saying, you know what the uncles want, let's give it to them. And it just sucks, because I know it's not these girls, it is their record company, and their record company is doing anything and everything they can to keep Stellar selling albums, to keep views up on videos, to keep them being able to do public performances. But this is not the way to do it. I found that the sexuality in the vibrato video was so much more clever than the sexuality in Sting, and a million times more clever than the sexuality here. Like during the dance break for vibrato, and it's got like the opening of the purse and the opening of the eye and the opening of the blind. Yes, it is highly suggestive, but you don't really see much. Let me open this photo book and show you what you do see when you get the actual photo book. Ass, thighs, cleavage, ass, thighs, thighs and ass, 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 thighs, ass, waist, thighs, ass, ass. I mean, come on. This isn't clever. This is like the basest, lowest form of sexual offerings. And then look at her face. She doesn't look turned on. She doesn't look excited. She looks oppressed. They look like women who don't enjoy being in these poses. She looks half scared in this picture. Like, please don't hurt me. You know, and what is this for? This is for some old, gross guy's idea of what a cute, submissive, you know, secretly horny girl is supposed to be. This falls into the fetishized opinion of what men think women really want. And it's not for us. This is not for us. And it just sucks, because this bullshit, like there is no reason for this. And now supposedly Stellar is saying that they plan to disband in the year if their next comeback doesn't do good because they don't have any more money. Well, hell, photo books like this with somebody looking like they've been purchased as a child sex slave, that might be the reason why you're not selling more copies of this. That might be the reason why. Ever thought about that? But yeah, my heart breaks for these girls because I know what these girls want. Like, I know what they really want. They want a career. These girls want success. They want to dance. They want to sing. Yeah, any girl can bend over like this, but to get on stage and be able to work choreography and to be able to hit notes and to be able to go out there and perform songs in multiple venues and not miss a note or miss a step, that takes talent. These are talented women, and they're being reduced to nothing but sexual playthings, you know, and it's because their record company wants this for them. And they went from maybe adding a little bit of sexuality to pique your interest to just making it to where that is the main thing, that there's nothing else. She's an outstanding vocalist. She's an outstanding vocalist. And for her to be reduced to, you know, gap thighs, you know, bent over, popping her ass, like, that's just not fair. That's just not fair. So yeah, my heart hurts for Stellar, but at the same time, if they do break up, maybe the other girls will get a chance to get on a label that sees their talent as well and will market them in a way that will allow their talent to be the overriding factor in why people want to buy their albums or buy their merchandise or see them in concert. Because I think that there's nothing wrong with sexy. I'll never say that there's anything wrong with sexy. But this is not sexy. This is just cheap sex. There is a difference. And I just hate that this is the way things have devolved for Stellar. But I don't want to end this video on a super negative note. I want to end it on a positive note. So let me give you my kind of inspirational talk of the day. So I live in one part of Texas, my family lives in another part of Texas, and I wanted to transfer to the part of Texas where the rest of my family lives because I wanted to be close. I'm tired of being out here by myself. You know, I've cried about it, I've been sad about it, I've been depressed about it, and an opportunity at my job came up that I could possibly move, and I wanted to do it. But what I did, which was a stupid thing to do, is I told my coworker, you know, hey girl, if they give me that job, I'll ask them if I can get more time to stay down here and help train you to take over my job. Why? Because if she took over my job, it would make her get more money, and I would feel good knowing that I left my job to somebody so that they can move up in the world. The problem was, I think that my supervisor overheard, so they hired somebody else for the job I wanted to transfer to. And when I asked her about it, she said, oh, well, they were looking for somebody who could go to that position right away. And I guess maybe the way I made things sound, it sounded like I wouldn't be ready to go to that position right away. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't look out for your friends in life, but always be ready to take opportunities when they're handed to you. If you wait for maybe conditions to be optimal, you can lose an opportunity. And I know that there will be another opportunity for me because I feel like things happen the way they're supposed to happen. So there's probably another opportunity right around the corner, probably a better opportunity. And when it comes to my life's karma bank, I would rather be thoughtful towards a friend than be selfish towards myself and then maybe later on have that selfishness bite me in the butt. Because goodness knows I couldn't be where I am now if I didn't have other people being generous and kind to me. But I'm just telling you guys, if you're offered an opportunity, don't let fear stop you from taking your opportunities. Don't let hesitation stop you from taking your opportunities. Go ahead and seize them. Go ahead and seize them because you may have another opportunity coming down the road, but it's going to be different. It's hardly ever the same opportunity. So yeah, that is my encouraging moment because a lot of you out there are super talented. And I say that without even knowing you because a lot of you are talented enough to be able to embrace a culture that's so foreign to maybe the people around you. If you're an American or a person in Europe listening to K-pop, you're already delving into a culture completely outside of your own and you're making the effort to try to understand it, to try to get involved with the language, to get involved with the way that they're system of manners works. There's a lot that you're learning that has nothing to do with school. So already I know you're intelligent and you're curious. So you're going to have opportunities in this life because you have the intellect to be offered these kind of opportunities. So whatever you do, don't short sell yourself. Don't wait until you think maybe you deserve the opportunity. Go ahead and take it. Go ahead and take it. Believe in yourself enough to know that when the opportunities present themselves, you are worthy to take that opportunity and just drive it all the way to the end. I believe in you. Please believe in yourselves. I'll talk to you later. Bye.